Hey, it's Jeremy with Poindexter G, and today we're going to take a look at the game Sherlock The Game is Afoot. So this is a game by Jason Hager and Darren Reckner. It is billed as a deduction duel for 2 to 5 sleuths. And you can imagine, since this game is named after Sherlock Holmes, that it is going to be a deduction game. A game about solving a mystery, and you'd be right. So let's get a look at what all is in this game. A crime most heinous has been committed in the foggy London. The greatest minds in the city will race to identify the criminal. The first to solve the case will earn eternal fame as London's greatest detective genius. The game is afoot. So, the basics of this game. So we have a game here that has 13 different locations. We have a deck that has the numbers that you are accustomed to seeing on a deck, going from 2 up to king and then ace, which is the highest. These cards, despite being similar to playing cards, are in fact the suspects. And what will happen in the game is that one of these suspects will be pulled out and will become the culprit. We don't know who the culprit is, but we have to eliminate these other 12 suspects to figure out who is in fact that culprit. So the players will be spread out along different places on the board. So you'll see that everybody will get some of these cards. You'll get a couple of them here, and you'll know right away that the 2 and the 8 are not the culprit because you have them in your hand. You've got to figure out what ones are in everyone else's hand. And you have this handy dandy Afoot notepad to help you figure out who those are. You also have leads that will come out. And the leads, guess what the leads range from? The leads range from 2 up to ace. But there are, in fact, 2 copies of every lead. So you have 26 different leads here. So we're going to start off with some leads here. One of these will start off on the 3, and the other lead will start off on the jack. And these other leads will come out as the game goes on. You've got these nice little handy cards here that match the color of your pawn to help you remember what you can do on your turn. So at the start of your turn, you're going to draw a lead token and place it on the matching location. So we now have one on the 2. You can move to an adjacent location. You can move or stay where you're at. So I can move to the ace, to the 2, to the 3, or to the 9. They're adjacent no matter how far apart they are from each other, such as the 2 and the jack are pretty close to each other. The queen and the 3 are a long ways away, but that is just one line, so they're still adjacent. Then you can move. And then you can do one of 2 things. You can either ask a question or explore a lead. And there's 2 different things you can do on exploring a lead. So, asking a question. When you ask a question, you get to ask one other player in the game a question. You can ask them a yes or no question. And that yes or no question can be anything. There are no limits to what you can ask about as long as it is yes or no. And so the 3 answers that someone can give to the yes or no question is yes, no, or I cannot answer that. Do you have the 3?
Yes.
Do you have any face cards?
Yes.
Are all of your suspect cards odd numbered?
No.
Are your suspect cards numbered sequentially?
Yes.
Do you have the 7 or the 8?
No.
Was the last card you drew lower than a 5?
Yes.
Do you have a card with a guy wearing a funny hat?
Yes.
Do Do you have the card that is equal to the square root of 25? No. Do you know where you were on the night of Monday the 29th? No. Is it possible for an RPK reactor to go into a critical fail state in a low power situation? I can't answer that. Is this your bloody shoe? No. Did you kidnap the Limburg baby? The game won't let me lie, will it? Yes. I knew it. And so your questions can be anything. Just try to make them useful to the game. Remember that the other players are trying to deduce what is going on, and you may give them information which you don't want to do. So be careful with your questions. The next thing you can do is explore a lead. If you end up on a space that has a lead token, you can explore a lead. On the numbered locations, this allows you to attempt to clear a suspect. What does that mean? You ask one of the other players, do you have this number in your hand? If they do have it, they take that card out and they will put that card down on the table and you will make a line of cleared suspects. Face cards have some additional things they can do. Draw a suspect card from the suspect deck. Just lets you draw an additional card from the deck. You can question 3 times, with each question being directed towards a different player. You can attempt to clear any suspect of your choosing from anywhere, or you can draw a random suspect card from a player's hand. And the last thing you can do is accuse. You can accuse at any time. It does not have to be your turn. You can do it at any point in someone else's turn. You can do it between turns. You can do it right after they ask a question. The way you do it is you take your hand and you slap the card in the middle of the game board. Okay, maybe not slap that hard, but definitely slap it. And what you would do at that point is you will then take your notepad. You will write down which one you think it is on your notepad. This is an important step because then you will take the card and you will look at it. And if you were correct, you just won the game. If not, you got to put this down and be like, I was wrong. I'm out of the game. And so the way the game will end is either when somebody slaps the culprit and is correct, or everyone except one person slaps it and is wrong. That last person wins just by default. Now, if you want to spice this game up some more, you could take the character cards. Character cards feature a number of different characters that you will be familiar with if you are familiar with Holmes lore. And each of these characters has their own unique ability. Sherlock Holmes, once per turn, if an opponent responds yes to your question, ask them another question. Watson, when you explore a numbered location, you may attempt to clear a suspect one number higher or lower than your location. Moriarty, once per game, when responding to a question, you may lie. Irene Adler, once per game, when someone attempts to clear a suspect from your hand, you may lie and say no. Mycroft, on the start of your turn, peek at the bottom card of the suspect deck. Mrs. Hudson, when you move, you may move into locations with other player pawns. The Irregulars, when you may move twice. You may pass through opposing player pawns. And Lestrade, anytime another player clears a suspect, you may immediately move to any location. Now, these are great ways to add just some unique things to it to give everyone things that are a little bit different. The ones that get a little crazy are, in particular, Moriarty and Irene Adler, since they can let people lie. So that can definitely have some crazy effects on the game. How good of a detective are you? Are you a good sleuth? Well, let's play this game and find out. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and a like. You can go down into the comment section and let me know what you think down there. And you can also subscribe to my channel to make sure you catch all the videos that I post so you don't miss anything. This is Jeremy with Poindexter G, and we'll see you around next time.